Welcome to part 2 of my easy, cool, efficient vocal warm-ups. So last time we talked about getting the airflow moving a little bit, inhaling through your mouth silently, exhaling, and then starting to add words from phrases of your songs that you sing. Remember, this is for artists. This is for people who want to sing songs, not just people who want to hit notes. This is for people who want to sing songs. The song should always come first. You should sing for the song. There've been many artists that have said that over the times of music in general. So this always make sure the song comes first. So when you start warming up that way, you're on the right track. So the next step, basically, if you watched the last video, we didn't do much more than just kind of speak through phrases. We didn't add any notes. And at the time I said, don't worry about notes. And that's okay. That was the whole point. Now we're going to start adding some notes. And there's two ways to do that. The first way is kind of just a little exaggerating your speech, the way you would say something. A lot of emotion, a lot of inflection, and different parts and different words. It's easy to forget when we speak, we actually are already using pitches. We're already using notes. We're kind of all over the place. One example I like to use with my student is if someone comes up and hits you in the shoulder, you don't immediately go, "Hey, why did you do that?" No, we don't do that. We're like, "Hey, why did you do that? Like, what's wrong with you?" You know, we get kind of upset or something. Our voice goes up in pitch. Those are pitches. That's not just speaking. We're actually using pitches. Well, speaking is using pitches. So if you think about it that way, one of the things you can do is after you've gotten that air moving, you've gotten those phrases very familiar, everything's feeling comfortable, one of the next steps you can do, and this is very easy to do, once again, you don't actually need an instrument, you don't need an accompanist, you don't need a warm-up CD. All you can do is take that phrase. The phrase I used last time was the full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name, from one of my Douglas Warren tunes. And so I can take that same phrase after I've done it a few times, I've gotten the air moving, every word is nice and articulate. I can take that and start adding kind of little, it sounds a little goofy, but little fun parts to it. So like, full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. And it sounds almost like a Shakespearean actor. But that's okay. That's what we're doing. Once again, we're singing songs, we're singing lyrics, we're telling a story. In a way, we're already acting when we tell our story. We know the story, but the listener doesn't. So it's good to start warming up that way as well. You're integrating a little bit of pitches here and there all over the place without thinking about it. So that's very easy to do. Anybody can do that. You can take anybody who says, "I can't sing anything in my life," and you can have them speak all over the place, very emotionally, and letting that air flow through. And while it sounds a little silly, you're already hitting pitches. You're even using a little bit of head voice, using that mixed voice. I know so many of you know about. The mixed voice, of course, being the combination of head voice up here, mixed with the low chest voice and sitting in the middle. And that's where we speak anyway. We speak with a little bit of both. It's very common to do that. I think it's easy to think we speak only from chest, but I'm sure some vocal coaches will argue with me, but I don't believe that. I believe there's already a little bit of head voice integrated in how we speak. That's what we do, and I think a lot of coaches would agree with me on that. So take advantage of that. You're already using some head voice, you're using your chest voice. Take advantage of using both of them freely, going in and out of them. Once again, the phrase I was using, full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. Once again, if I take that and just kind of go all over the place, full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. And the more I do it over and over again, I can hear my voice starting to want to go a little higher, want to go a little lower, go all over these places. And my concern is not where the larynx is sitting, it's not, am I tensing, it's not, well, where am I breathing from the diaphragm. My concern is just making sure I'm exhaling and focusing on what I'm saying, and I'm just putting a little extra emphasis into the way I say it. It's a great way to warm up, it's extremely easy. You don't need even a guitar, you don't need a piano, you don't need a CD, Nothing. You can do it anywhere, anytime. You can do it in the bathroom. You can do it in the kitchen making food. It's extremely easy. You can do it while you're driving. So once you've done that a little bit, you've already started to kind of hit notes just a little bit. Not thinking about it, but you're hitting notes. You're going a little high, you're going a little low, and you're approaching it from infinite angle of possibilities in the way you approach it. Every word, every syllable, every vowel sound, every consonant vowel combination, every diphthong. If you haven't looked that up, look what a diphthong up is again. If you focus on all those things, every note you're hitting is being approached from multiple angles of words. And so when you start singing notes, one of the biggest things I found with all my students where they get caught up is sometimes certain words are just harder to sing than others, especially when they have to go higher. And it's very easy to get caught up thinking it's the note, when the actual truth is it's not the note itself that's the problem, it's the word. And a lot of times that word itself, you're not saying it. You're changing the way you're saying it because in your mind you're focusing on the note, so that's when you start tensing up and you forget to focus on the word, on the lyric itself. And that's the most important part. So the way to start working on that, not only what we just did, but to take it to the next step, is to take that same phrase you've already been speaking through, and put it on one single note. Now, I suggest picking a note you don't have to think about, a note that's easy. In fact, I'm speaking about right here. This is where I'm speaking from. This is the note I'm going to use. So I can take this note right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to sigh out. And once again, I'm going to focus on that same phrase I've been using, and I'm going to stay on this pitch. So an example. Full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. I can't believe you're here with me, call me crazy, all I want to do is sing your name. Now as I do that, I still focus on exhaling, keeping it easy, making sure every word is extremely articulate. And in doing so, this pitch right here, I don't even know what note it is. It doesn't matter. But this pitch right here, I'm approaching this pitch from infinite angles with every word combination I can possibly throw at it. That in itself is an extremely good warm-up for the voice. After you've gotten comfortable with this note, what you can do is maybe find a note. Kind of close to there, it's a G sharp. What I'm going to do now is take it to the next step. This is where we start integrating the notes. Now, if you're very comfortable with music, you're comfortable with pitches, you don't necessarily need an instrument to go up a half step. But if you're looking to be a little bit more precise, to get a little bit better with your pitch control, it doesn't hurt to give yourself a reference with an instrument. Now this is where the instrument comes into play. But once again, you don't need an instrument if you have confidence in your pitch control. If you are still struggling with pitch, I do recommend using an instrument to help. But we started on a G sharp. So what I'm going to do is go up to an A, same thing, and I'm going to do the same thing I just did on that G sharp, but now I'm going to do it on an A. Full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. Breathe in and I'm going to sigh again. I can't believe you're here with me, call me crazy, all I want to do is sing your name. And it feels good, it feels relaxing. And I'm not struggling to hit the note necessarily, I'm focusing more on the word. Now the challenge is, especially as you're warming up, to start continually go up your scale, go up every half steps. I like to go half steps, some people like to do whole. Half steps are fun. I don't know, it's kind of whatever you want to do. But, let's go up another half step. This is an A sharp. Full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. I can't believe you're here with me, call me crazy, all I want to do is sing your name. And one of the tricks too, as you're doing this, make sure there's no scooping at the beginning of the phrases. You do not want to get in that habit. That's very bad. A lot of times we do that without realizing we're doing that. So make sure as you do this particular warm-up, this particular exercise, Full speed down the open highway. You're right on that pitch, every part of the word, every consonant, every vowel, every diphthong. Okay? And that will help a lot. Now, as you go higher, here's one of the things a lot of my students also worry about is flipping. And flipping, of course, is if we're going from this voice going up to the little part right there. Yeah, that's not fun to hear. However, it is part of the voice. And when you're warming up, don't try to hide the flip. Use the flip. The flip is very important. If you understand your flip, if you know where your flip is, if you can control your flip, you're good to go. But in order to control the flip, you need to understand where it is and how it feels. And you'd be surprised too, sometimes a flip's not all that bad. We get afraid of it, but it's really not a bad thing. And one of the ways to start working through that is this exact same exercise. And as you go higher, when you do flip, let it flip. Do the exact same thing in head voice. A lot of males have trouble when they get up into their head voice while maintaining words. So if I go, full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. It does get a little weird. It's a little tough. And as I keep going, let's go way up here. Full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. Full speed down the open highway, no sleep, windows down, singing your name. It's coming out okay right now. It feels a little tight. I haven't done this much today. I'm trying to show you how I warm up as well. But as I do that, sometimes the voice kind of wants to go, flip around, kind of go in and out all over the place. And that's okay. No one's going to be listening to you necessarily while you're doing this. Once again, this is a warm-up. It's not a performance. If you're flipping all over the place, if your head voice doesn't come out easily, that's okay. Keep focusing on air in, letting it back out, relaxing, and focus on the word itself. I promise you, the note will be there. The more time and emphasis you put onto the airflow and focusing on the word, that's part of warming up. So as you keep doing it, that note will all of a sudden start getting bigger and bigger and bigger and easier to use. And as that note gets easier to use, move on to the next one. Now you don't want to go up and get as high as you possibly can and just sit up there. That's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. But if you want to challenge yourself, but make sure you can do it low and into a nice, easy head voice first. Okay, don't shoot for the top right away. I have a lot of students that I love them to death, but they'll come to me and, oh, I want to sing Whitney Houston, I want to sing Bon Jovi, I want to sing Guns N' Roses. I'm like, that's great, but let's work on some of the lower notes first. Let's make sure we can get those lyrics out. Let's make sure we get some synchronization going on in here first before you go for the really challenging stuff. So keep it easy, keep it light, have a good time, focus on the breathing, focus on the words. Notes come second. Don't forget that. Once again, if you have questions, come to my website, chriskellervxstudios.com. More than willing to help you out. And I do teach lessons over Skype and here in good old Nashville, Tennessee, where it's a little chilly, which is why I'm wearing my my cozy hat. So anyway, thanks y'all, and I'll catch you next time.